We work so you can play.
Matthew here, and Jay, both of us from MiniWarGaming.com. And this is another of our Tyranid Tactica / review of the 6th edition codex for the Tyranids. And we're going to talk about the fast attack slot today. Now, in our last video, in the vault, we talked about the elite slot and gave our review on all the different units in there. If you're a vault member, you probably already saw that. If you're not a vault member, you can go and watch it in the vault, MiniWarGaming.com/vault, and you can start a free 7-day trial today so you can get access to all the previous videos. And after this fast attack one, we're going to be talking about heavy support, and that'll also be in the vault. So half the videos are in the vault. So get twice as many videos by joining the vault. End advertisement. So fast attack slot. I think both of us can agree that this is our least favorite slot that the Tyranids have.
By far.
However, I want to put it out there that I think it could become my favorite.
Okay. I mean, are you talking about Shrikes?
I'm talking about the fact that we don't have Shrike models.
No, we have to go with Forge World.
And so maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to order a bunch of warriors and send them off to a painter to convert them and get me a bunch of Shrikes. So I want 18 Shrikes. I want 2 groups of 9 because I think Shrikes would be good. Yeah. Now, okay, let's not talk about that for a second. The other reason I think that this could be fun is because of the Sky Slasher Swarm Broods, of which I also don't have models. And guess what? The Forge World ones are awful. Yeah. I got them before. Somebody gave me them a few years back. And trying to get those little tiny wings into those little Ripper Swarms was the most frustrating experience I ever had. So I said, screw this! And I threw them away. I don't know why I gave them away. Oh. But still, it was bad. But I want a bunch of like Ripper Swarm bases because that's just the coolest thing. It's just coming in and swarming. I don't know if they'll be any good, but I would play with them and I would have so much fun.
Now, is the person who gave them to you watching this?
I don't know. It was a long time ago. Right. I think I bought. No, I bought them off of eBay with a bunch of other Tyranid stuff back in the day when I was doing that. Yeah. And so I can imagine just like having these swarms of Shrikes and swarms of Ripper Swarms, and then Gargoyles. Like, let's go double Force Org here, and then throw in a Harpy and a Hive Crone, and that to me is a very thematic list. I wish that if you gave your Hive Tyrant wings, it would allow some of these to be brought as troop choices, kind of like some other armies, like the Blood Angels, who all of a sudden they have all the assault troops. That would be cool. That would be cool. Like Gargoyles being brought as troops. But as it stands, with the availability of models the way it is, the fast attack is in trouble. Yeah. Which is too bad because Tyranids are supposed to be fast, and they are not.
We are a very slow, clunky army. We're slower than orcs, clunkier than orcs.
Yeah, because they can just jump in a bunch of trucks and battle wagons.
They have bikes.
They go. Yeah. And bikes, yeah. We don't even...
They have jet bikes too. Like, they have everything.
But those can even be brought as troops. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, why didn't they take that advantage with the Tyranid Codex and be like, hey, Tyranids adapt. Yeah. Why not have it so you change your HQ choice, and that changes around the Force Org a little bit. They do it with like almost every other army. Space Marines do it. Orcs do it. That's probably it. But still, they do that with those 2 major armies. Orcs aren't really major, but Space Marines are major. So I guess they don't do it a lot. But it would be cool if they did. Because I'm disappointed. So disappointed by the fast attack. So let's go through them. We've got Shrikes, which are basically flying warriors. We got Raveners, which are baby Trigons. We've got the Red Terror, who they brought back and don't have a model for, which is kind of... Actually, no, they do have a model for the Red Terror. It's just old and ugly. Old. They got the Sky Slasher Swarm Broods, which is flying Ripper. No, they have Forge World. Yeah. We got Gargoyles. We've got Harpies. We got Hive Crones, and we've got Spore Mine Clusters, which are my favorite edition. I guess they do take the...
They're fun.
Yeah, it's kind of... If one thing I can say about the fast attack is I'm glad that nothing's good because then I can fill it out with Spore Mines. Yeah. And not feel like I'm wasting the slots. Yeah. So what do you think out of all those? You know, we're talking about the fact that they're all kind of weak. Which ones are your favorite?
My favorite would be the Gargoyles, but even they got nerfed this edition.
Yeah, they no Gargoyles auto 1-on-6s.
Used to auto 1-on-6s, plus it used to be a single point for adrenal glands and toxin sac upgrades, and they doubled it to 2 points. Yeah. So then they actually got more expensive, and like several models in the Codex got more expensive and weaker. Their blinding venom used to be amazing because against high toughness monstrous creatures.
Blinding venom used to be that when you fired, if you rolled a 6 to hit, it wounded.
In close combat.
In close combat?
Yeah.
You wounded on a 6.
Yeah, not in fire.
Sorry, no, it wasn't fire. No. That was bad. I never did that, I swear.
And they're fast. You know, you could, again, use them as a great screen. They go up, they quickly, and they can engage. And a squad of 30 used to eat apart a lot of things, especially if you gave them toxin sacks. Nothing could really withstand them, because that many attacks, you know, it hurts.
Yep. And now they have Blinding Venom, which blinds your opponent, which drops their weapon skill and blessed skill down to 1 if you do a wound.
Yeah.
Unsaved wound. I think they still have their use. I think out of all the fast attack, Gargoyles are the best.
Yes, they could be, again, a great screener.
Because, yeah, they're cheap. They're 6 points apiece. If you don't upgrade them, just 6 points apiece. And they're fast.
Yeah.
And you don't deep strike them or anything. You just stick them in your army, put them in the flanks, and they fly up. They give your opponent something to deal with while the rest of your army moves up. That's the way I play my Tyranids. I'm going to give you more threats, and you pick which ones you want to kill, and I'll work with the rest. And so the Gargoyles, I think, if you are going to be bringing fast attack, they seem to be the most reliable. They're not necessarily the best, but they are the most reliable.
Yeah. Shrikes, I don't think Shrikes, I think they're too expensive.
Well, they're the same cost as Warriors.
That's what I'm saying, but Warriors can score. Warriors are a scoring unit with a 4+ cover, 4+ armor, and the same cost for 5+ cover, 5+ armor that can't score.
Yeah, but they can fly.
Yeah.
So you're kind of swapping it out for that. The flying's a big deal.
It is, but...
Well, they don't fly, they're jumping infantry.
The problem is, though, the greatest thing about this new codex with Warriors is their synergy with Venom Tropes. Right? And you can't have the same synergy with the flying ones, because they will outfly them.
Yeah.
One turn, and they're already 6 inches.
Yeah.
You know, and 5+ armor is going to get eaten through pretty quickly.
Yes, they'll definitely die fast. Now, trying to think how they could be used, because they could be kitted exactly the same way as a warrior, in theory, and they're faster and they get there. But I don't know. I think by sticking, I think there's a use there. I think that they could be done. Now this is probably this video, the fast attack one, is probably going to be our biggest theory video, because we haven't played with a lot of these. I've actually played with the Harpy and the Hive Crone. I played with Gargoyles. I've even played with Raveners. So I have, and Spore Mines. So I actually have taken a smattering of all these, but not extensively like all the other stuff. I've really seen what the other things can do. But I think Shrikes, I think you'd be surprised.
They could.
I think Shrikes could do it.
Maybe they're...
You have to. It's hard because you can't picture what the board looks like, and you don't know what your opponent's doing.
Exactly.
Because there could be a good place for them to fly to that would give them a Ruins cover save, for example, and your opponent will have to deal with a 4+ cover. Sure, they won't get the Shrouded to make it a 2+, but a 4+ is still pretty darn good.
And but then they might hurt themselves. But that's
no, they're Synapse.
Yeah, but they hurt themselves landing.
No.
Landing ruins.
No. But if it's not area terrain, then it's not dangerous.
No, true.
Because ruins are usually just not area terrain. That's how we play it, at least. Yeah. Ruins, when you have like the building, the footprint, I don't make area terrain. It's just that you land in it, and then if it's line of sight.
Yeah, they could be good potentially. They're a Synapse creature.
So they can provide the Synapse to the forward running guys and to themselves. I think that's the most important thing. And they can kind of pair off with things like Gargoyles and provide the Gargoyle Synapse. See, the Gargoyles could provide them cover too.
Yes.
So if you get like Shrikes and Gargoyles together, then they could actually just fly up and actually allow the rest of your army to get there. Because Gargoyles are cheap. 6 points a model is cheap. So bringing a brood of 30 of them, or 2 broods of 15, and 1 brood of Shrikes, I think could work.
Yeah, I just feel your points may be better spent elsewhere.
Well, that's always the case. We're talking that's internal balance, right? And there's always the one ideal army, or the 2 ideal armies, or the 1 ideal army for that opponent. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something that could work, regardless of the fact that there's something else that's better.
There's potential synergy.
Yeah. I think it could. We got to try it.
Sure.
All right, you got to try it.
All right.
Even if we like proxy the Warriors, I don't like proxying Warriors as flying ones because they don't look like they should fly.
I know.
I want wings on them because they look so awesome.
But then again, it's how can you have 2 sets of Twin-Link Devours on this guy when he has 1 set of arms?
I know. What's up with that? But that's a whole other issue. Raveners. I think Raveners are good, but like you said, there's always something way better because they are 30 points a model too.
They're basically beast versions of Tyranid Warrior / Shrikes.
But the fact that they're beasts is awesome because then they move 12 inches without the disadvantages of the flyers, and they've got fleet. And
the only downside to them is they have really low leadership.
Yeah, so you got to keep them in Synapse.
Yeah.
Weapon skill though is 5, so that kind of answers that problem. They're 3 attacks base with 2 close combat attacks, and I think when you give them, when you give them a shooting attack, they don't lose one of their close combat attacks.
That's true,
because it's a thorax thing. So you can actually give them. So what I like to do with them, and this is the old codex and the new codex. I haven't played with them a lot in the new codex, but I don't see much change in this. Is give them Death Spitters. And then they pop up in deep striking, which is not always a good idea, by the way.
Yeah.
But if you pop them up in deep strike and then they're doing 3 shots at strength 5 each, and if you bring a group of like 6 of them, that can actually do some damage.
Yeah.
And the other thing is you do the same thing, but just start.
So do you mean Devourers or Death Spitters each?
No, Death Spitters.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's really strength 5.
Yeah.
No, it's strength 5. I think is worth the difference in points, just because because I can actually do something against vehicles too. There's that. All of a sudden, armor 11 is not impenetrable, and armor 10 becomes a lot better. So I think Raveners have a place. I think fast attack we're underestimating, and I've got a lot of really good-looking Raveners now, and I just need to get the Shrikes. Once I get the Shrikes, you're going to see them. Yeah. In fact, I am going to, not today because it's almost the end of the workday, but I am next week going to work on getting Shrikes, at least an order in to get some of those made. That's
the thing, but at least with the fast attack, it tends to be this problem with all the codices. All the codices usually have the weakest area being the fast attacks.
Well, fast attack's not supposed to be strong.
No.
It's supposed to be fast.
Exactly.
They're supposed to move up, do some damage,
and
harass, and then die. They're harassing units. And they do that. Like, we have to admit, Raveners, Shrikes, Gargoyles are good at harassing. Because in first turn, 12-inch movement, and your weapons are going to be in range.
Yeah.
I don't care how far back those stupid Tau have set their gun line. You can get your guns in range if you bring the right ones. And then they can be useful. So the main problem is you got these expensive monstrous creatures in your heavy support and your HQ slots that are eating up all the points. And so you need to like flesh out those rest of those points in your warriors and hive guards and venatums. There's just no points left for fast attack.
No, that's it.
So Red Terror, I don't even want to talk about him. He's just kind of silly.
Yeah.
And not that he wouldn't be good, but it's just like, really? That's what you add instead of everything it took out? Sky Slasher, Swarm, Bird, Bear, Attack, Gargoyles, Harpy and Hive Crone.
I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, me too. But they look cool.
They do look cool.
And look, this one's magnetized.
Ooh, cool.
See, tentacles come out because they're one-shot weapons. But
the problem is with me is 4+ armor save, toughness 5, and only
5 wounds.
5 wounds, but like quad. I don't know, maybe the meta, but like in the meta in the 40k league, for example, people frequently take quad guns.
Yeah, so it won't be hard.
A quad gun would eat this thing for breakfast.
Yeah.
And
then knock them to the ground.
The odds it could kill them one set of shooting.
There's only 4 shots.
And then ground them, kill them.
Well, yeah, I guess if you hit all 4 and wound all 4, and then he grounds.
Because he wouldn't get a save period, and he'd be hitting on 3s re-roll. So statistically, you hit it with at least 3 of them, wounding on 2s.
Yeah.
So average damage is almost
3 or 4.
3 or 4 out of the 5 wounds, and that's the thing. Like to me, and
it has interceptor. Yeah. So even if you hold him in deep strike or in reserve, it doesn't matter because he'll fly in and
instantly. And then Harpy is supposed to be the shooting one.
Oh no.
It's ballistic skill 3 and
no, they're all blast weapons.
Yeah,
ballistic skill doesn't matter. But they're blast weapons. It's like a twin-linked heavy. If it was 2 heavy venom cannons, or 2 stranglehorn cannons.
No, but it's a twin-linked stranglehorn, just 1.
I don't want it twin-linked. Give me 2 shots. It's a blast weapon. I don't need it to be twin-linked. Yes, I know it can scatter and you get to reroll the scatter, but who cares? It's a blast. The whole idea of blast is that you don't need to hit.
Exactly.
It just boom! Oh, I hit something else. That's okay. So if I had 2 of those, I think they would be totally worth it.
I can drop some Spore Mine cysts.
They have been useful. I have played them, and they have done some stuff. The Spore Mines are great. I love Spore Mines. Biovores, we're going to talk about heavy support, are really good. So the fact that the Harpy can go over. Now, the one question that since the FAQ is not out yet, I'm wondering, is when the Harpy swoops over something, it can drop Spore Mines. Can it also Vector Strike?
I thought it could, but that'll probably be in the FAQ.
Yeah, because my understanding is it's not written anywhere, but it sounds like he has to do one or the other. Oh. If he did do 2 of them, obviously he wouldn't be able to shoot at all because Vector Strike says 1 less attack, and the Spore Mine thing is 1 less attack. Because why would he be able to, but I wouldn't be surprised. If he can Vector Strike and drop the Spore Mines, that's where he'll be useful.
And what does Sonic Screech do again?
It drops the initiative of everybody in close combat by 5 if he charges.
But if he's in close combat, he's a dead thing.
But if there is some combos.
Yes, you drop him at the same time as someone else. And then,
he goes in with somebody else. He drops everybody's initiative by 5.
Yeah.
Like that's basically bringing them down to 1. Like everything is going to be down to 1 except for your like demon princes who will be at initiative 3 and he's initiative 5, and so even he gets to attack first. Now he's only 3 attacks with the weapon skill 3 again. 3. But I wouldn't expect him to have a better weapon skill. He's a flyer, for goodness sakes.
No, and then the Hive Crone, same kind of thing. Same stat line. So Quad Gun will eat him for breakfast.
Yeah, and it's funny because you look at this guy, And the way they modeled him, he looks really cool, but he doesn't look like he can be grounded. Every opponent that I played against with him is like, can he be grounded? And
he doesn't have any legs.
I'm like, of course he can. He's a flying monstrous creature. But like this guy, yeah, it looks like he could be grounded. Like it looks like he'll land. But this guy actually looks like, but he is modeled to look more like a bomber, which is cool. Yeah, I do like him. I just think that like, how would he be grounded?
He's like hobbling along the ground.
Yeah. So the Harpy and the Hive Crone suffers from similar things, except his Vector Strike is Strength 8, which is nice.
Yeah. He's also 20 points more expensive.
Yeah, but 20 points is 20 points. That's what, 5 guns. Big deal. He's got these one-shot only weapons. There's 4 of them, and they're Strength 5 Haywire, and they're twin-linked against swooping flyers.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah,
I just don't see
twin-linked hit on 4s, though, when they're single-hit weapons. Is just not very reliable.
Single shot, yeah.
And then they're Haywires. Haywire's good because it's like a 2+. So they're meant to hunt down flyers.
Yeah, but it's a 2+ glance, and you really need that 6 to pen because on a flyer, yeah, you could get two glances and then it's taken down most of the time. But they can also get a cover save as well.
Yep.
So you statistically need all 4 to destroy one.
You
flyer.
only get to fire 2 per turn.
Yeah. So 2 rounds of firing to take down 1 flyer.
Yeah, whereas a Flying Hive Tyrant, who costs another 100 points more, mind you, will take it down in 1.
1 a turn, easy.
Now there is the argument that 155 points isn't too bad, and since your fast attack slots are pretty much free because nobody else is trying to fill them up, bringing a couple Hive Crones wouldn't be out of the question. Yeah. And that could provide, because in combination of Vector Striking and your Tentaclids, could actually be some good stuff because they're like, oh, do I shoot down these guys in the sky or do I have to worry about his bigger guys on the ground? Yeah. So I do want to get more of the Hive Crones. I have 1 Hive Crone and 1 Harpy, and I want to get 2 of each. Yeah. And I think that they could actually do something. At the very least, scare my opponent into firing at them instead of things that I could actually do something. Yeah. Because seriously, look at this, and you're like, holy moly, I got to kill it. And you're like, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like the Tyranid version of like a... oh, what's his flyer?
The Helldrake?
The Helldrake, but it's so worse.
Oh, yeah. Well, he does have the Drool Cannon.
The Drool Cannon.
His Strength 6 AP 4, not 3, and it's not Torrent.
Yeah, it's weaker, and to me it just doesn't, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't fit any role. Strength 6 AP 4, Flamer. Like, it's good at melting down warriors and fire warriors and... You're not going to get all the way up there.
No.
He's going to get shot down before he gets there. But anyway.
And then Spore Mines.
Spore Mines are great. I love Spore Mines.
They're fun.
They're 5 points apiece.
Yeah.
And they're just such a good distraction.
They're 15 though.
For 3.
Oh, for 3, yes.
Yeah, they're 5 points apiece. Yeah. And whereas they used to be 10.
Yes, they used to be 10.
And now there's so much more you can do with them. Now they've got nerfed a bit, but then I think they're taking more buffs than nerfs. And so I say, if you don't have your fast attack slots filled...
18.
No, just minimum groups of 3. Oh. The idea is you deep strike them in, and you just plop them in front of your opponent, and your opponent's like, oh, great. Because they can do 1 of 3 things. 1, they distract your opponent. They fire at that instead of anything else. And it doesn't take much shooting to kill Spore Mines. No. And so when he has his big squad of rapid-firing guys, that is like super, super, duper, super, duper overkill. Yeah. And that's a lot of wasted firepower. 2, he ignores them. Yeah. So what do? Well, they can charge. So either this will do eating Overwatch, or 3, they'll actually make it into combat and explode and actually do good damage. Even if only 2 of them make it, it's a large strength 5 blast.
True.
That is AP 4. And they can. I've seen them do well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to be careful not to kill your own guys. But they've been pretty good. And the biggest thing I've seen them do is distract and eat Overwatch. Because they're so dirt cheap. You got I got my 20 Hormagaunts about to charge in, and 3 Spore Mines. Spore Mines are an inch away because they deep striked in. I'm charging. He's like, Overwatch, kills the 3 Spore Mines, and then he gets eaten by the Hormagaunts. Like, I think they're actually good. I'm not just being silly here. Like, if you're not going to take fast attack slots, fill them with Spore Mines.
All right.
Like 15 points per fast attack. Yeah. Like your entire fast attack area for 45 points. Like, seriously.
That's pretty
Deep strike, deep strike, deep strike. Yeah, 1 mishap, you're like, whatever. Yeah. Big deal, right?
Yeah.
2 mishap, you're like, what? 3 mishap, you're like, oh. I've actually forgotten about them in my reserves. I'm like, oh yeah, I brought these little guys. And that is fast attacks. Yeah. So overall, probably the weakest area. Yes, the weakest area. Well, the troop choices is there, right up there with it. But because they have the warriors, that kind of it gives you good troop choices. I think fast attack has potential.
Yeah.
But we need the models.
Yeah, the models, and in a competitive atmosphere, I wouldn't see much. But in a fun game where it's quasi-competitive, maybe.
Yeah, quasi-competitive. Yeah. That's like my battle reports when I do beat map battle reps. They're not like tournament level competitiveness because that's just stupid. I don't like that.
That's Owen level.
Stop making fun of Owen.
He's gone. I can make fun of him all I want.
Anyways, stay tuned. Vault members, of course, the next video is going to be up right now. It's the heavy support slot, the very last one, and probably the most important and hard one to choose. So go ahead and click on that now. If you're not a Vault member, of course, click on it. Take the 7-day trial. You know you want to. You might as well just do it. Just go ahead and sign up. Have some fun. See lots of more videos. And support MiniWarGaming so I can keep Jay employed. So he can keep eating. And his family, too. If I don't employ him, then only he gets to eat from his other job.
Greedy.
Matthew and Jay, happy wargaming.
All right, so two Owens walk into a bar.